that poor child. She's not happy.
No more were you at the beginning.
Hi, I'm Claudia Catchpole, and you're watching The Fan Carpet. Tonight we're here at the world premiere of EFFIE GRAY. What first attracted you to the role?
I loved the story, I loved the character. It was a story that I hadn't heard before, so I was very excited to learn more about it and to be in it, and to get to work with such amazing actors was such a joy, and yeah, there's so many great things.
Well, first because it's fantastic to live many lives, because usually you live only one life, and I love also the film with the costume, antique, and the costume were fantastic, really, and it was also Venice. I mean.
How was it also, obviously, with the different classes? So you've got Emma Thompson as, you know, the sort of in the opulent world of the rich, but I mean, Dakota Fanning's character isn't poor, but she's not quite there yet, is it? Did you try and distinguish?
Still pretty, but they're still pretty. Yes, and indeed, because and Claudia Cardinale too, obviously, is super. I mean, she's you know, jet set, Eurotrash really. But no, Dakota isn't quite. But she's a very artistic young lady, and you know, it is. I mean, the Pre-Raphaelites were a whole new world, and that was just starting. So she was really the sort of hippie of her generation.
What did you think when you first read Emma Thompson's screenplay? I mean,
I was blown away. I thought this, having made Edwardian movies and some other historical films, movies in the 80s, I said, no one's made a Victorian movie that didn't involve kings and queens. Queen Victoria, or Mr. Brown, or the young Victoria. They're always about royalty. I thought this is about people. These people seem like people I know today. So it seemed absolutely of the 21st century, but Victorian. And it was really interesting because the production designer in his first group of things he brought were kind of dusty antiques. I said, no, this is the modern age. Mr. Ruskin wanted it new. This is not an antique shop of a movie. This is a modern movie. I still feel it really does that. You know, it's a period movie with life.
When I read the script, immediately it was. I think it was the combination of modern times set in a Victorian framework in terms of dealing with issues that was contemporary, but very difficult at the time. Obviously, no divorce existed at the time, and this marriage was actually annulled. But the screenplay was so beautifully written. It was, I think it was one of those you know immediately. You pick it up and you cannot stop turning the pages, and you laugh and you cry.
It was a very great passion of mine, this whole period, and I knew a lot about it before I started. But always with films, it's taking it from what you know to making it not only available, but also trying to give it a new look, give it a new, fresh light. So that was the fun of it all.
How did you find it working with Emma Thompson? Obviously, she's a British legend, really. How did you find that experience?
I loved it. I loved working with her. She's amazing. She's like the person that you want to grow up and become. You know, she's so lovely.
How was it working with Dakota?
Oh, it was really fantastic, and also all the crew was fantastic. Really, it was a fantastic experience.
Yeah, I think Dakota Fanning brought incredible vitality to the role. I think she is a woman who took her life into her hands and rebelled against a kind of system that was very restricting. But you know, today all over the world, it's often the same way. I think in our enlightened countries, in these democratic countries, it's wonderful that women have more equal rights and power. But in this movie, she gains them, and she takes the world into her hands and sets herself free. Part of me said it's 12 years a slave, but she only lasts 4 years before she breaks out.
Was it interesting filming in different locations like Venice and other places? Was that really fun to do?
It was actually really fun to do, yeah. It's so rare that you get to actually be in the place that you're supposed to be. You know, we filmed in Scotland, we filmed in Venice, and we were in England, and so that's always really fun. And, you know, Venice is a beautiful place, and Scotland's a beautiful place.
I mean, I think you want to live the period, which Victorian England is disappearing. So we went up and down the Thames to various smaller towns and found things that were relevant that would add up to London, really from Greenwich to Henley and back again. And then we went to wild western Scotland, which was magnificent, and there to a very civilized Venice, which hasn't changed that much. But so it's essential, yeah.
And it was marvellous being in Venice, and rich and exciting, and we were there for several weeks, so you actually got a real sense of what it was like to be in Venice as opposed to just going in and out quickly. Yes.
How do you find it different working with like a US cast compared to like a predominantly British cast? Is there any difference really at all?
No, I don't think so. I think that, you know, no, I think actors are mostly kind of the same. You know, I think that I got to work with some really talented actors in this one, which was so wonderful. But no, I didn't really see any difference.
Well, I think it is very important in terms of also because Ruskin spent a lot of time in Venice, and so we went to Venice to film, and we had Claudia Cardinale, we had Riccardo Scamaccio, so these fabulous people, and no, I think we couldn't have been any more fortunate with the people that we got on board, and the performances is just incredible. It's just absolutely fantastic. It's been a true pleasure.
What I like to do is always have these incredible actors who, in this country, are better than anywhere in the world. But also, we have an actress from Tunisia, Claudia Cardinale. We have Polly Dartford, who's a discovery. We have incredible parts all the way, Robbie Coltrane, Derek Checkman. To me, it was the essential cast, and Celestia Fox is a genius. She figured it out.
Producing EFFIE GRAY, it's been quite a long road to get here. Are you pleased it's finally sort of all over?
It's well overdue, I would say, but it's very, very good to be finally here. And I think, although it's been taking longer than we normally would expect at the outset, I think it's also given us the luxury of spending the time that was necessary, and which is a luxury that most filmmakers wouldn't have. So in a way, we've also been fortunate in that.
Well, I'm going to see the film for the first time tonight. Lots of surprise.
Yeah. So you excited
yeah,
about it?
I want to see it, yeah.
That's all from us, and remember to follow us on Facebook and Twitter.